All right, hey everybody. So we are going to I'm going to show you how to do this first program, Hello World, and we're going to show you how to create your folders, all that. And this will be a good video for future reference because we're kind of going to go over how we turn in everything. Okay, so to begin, you need a folder on your desktop. Okay, so if you right-click on the desktop and you go to New, you click Folder. You want to give this folder a name. The folder should be your first name, last name. Notice there's no space there. Underscore, and Unity will be the folder. Okay, it's very important in computer science when we do file names. The first letter of every word is capitalized, and we can't use spaces. We use the underscore. Okay, the underscore is right there next to the plus and equals key, next to the 0, and you just hit shift hyphen really. Okay, so I'm going to hit enter. All right, so there's my folder. I'm just going to place it right over here. Okay, I'm going to right click on that. Actually, I'm going to open the folder, so you can right click and say open, or you can just double click. Okay, and folder will open up. Nothing in it, right? Okay, so what you want to do is you want to create a new folder within this folder. So I'm going to create new folder. I'm going to title it Unit 1. Okay, enter. No spaces. Okay, can't use any spaces. So that's the first step. This is going to be our working folder. We're going to have to save this to our desktop. Okay, these files will get pretty big. So please don't save anything else to this computer other than the projects we're actually working on. Okay? All right. Next step. You guys have already created your Unity accounts. Okay, so we're going to open up the hub. All right, so there's the hub. Okay, sometimes you're going to get things like this about a new hub. Just don't worry about it. Okay, I'll take care of any updates. So we'll just click dismiss. Okay, and we want a new project. Okay, yours might have something in here. If you tried to do something, you shouldn't be creating any projects other than the ones we're doing. Okay, so we're going to go new project. All right. Now you always want to have all templates selected or core. Okay, there's a lot of things in here, and you don't want to start any project or create any project other than what we're doing. So we want all templates, and 2D core is the template we're always going to use. Okay, we're making 2D games. Okay, and so if you scroll down here, or you can make this window slightly bigger. Okay, there's a location. We need to set that location. We click on that folder, and we go to our desktop. So if you scroll all the way up, you should see desktop, and there's the folder we just created. We're going to double click on that. We're going to select Unit 1, click Select Folder, and that'll change to the correct folder. And then you're going to give your project a name. So projects are always named in the same way. First name, last name, no spaces, underscore, and then the name of the project. Okay, this particular one is test project. Okay, it's very important we have all the naming conventions correct. Okay, and we're going to click create project. Okay, so you're going to see this window right here come up. It usually takes about a minute to get all the necessary files into our project. Okay, in the future, my hope is to get some external hard drives so we don't have to do this on the C drive, because if we do this on the C drive, that's where the operating system lies, and continual reading and writing tends to cause problems. Okay, I want these computers to last. So pretty soon here, we might be changing our folders to a external hard drive. Okay. As you can see, it's initializing an asset database. Asset is a word you should become familiar with. Assets are all the things we use in Unity to create our gaming scenes. Okay, and we're almost there. It's been 55 seconds. Okay, this computer is pretty quick. Yours is probably just as quick. You guys have some pretty decent computers. There it is. Okay, it opens up. All right. So at this point, the next step, we don't really need this hub. Okay, so you can close it. But this will be, if you ever need to open this project again, this is where it lies. So you can close it or you can minimize it. Either one, it doesn't matter. Okay, I'm just going to minimize mine. Now I want a nice working space, so the way I usually do my desktop is I like to have this somewhat big, and there's going to be another program that's going to open up here, so I kind of keep it like this. Okay, all right. Okay, so a couple things here. We learned about this in the lesson. This is the hierarchy window. This contains all the game objects that we're going to be making. Okay, the hierarchy window right here. This is the scene and game window. We got scene and game. So our game scene right now is blank because we haven't done anything. Okay, and this is the scene window where we create our scene. Okay, you can use your mouse wheel and make it bigger or smaller so you can see better. Okay, we have this project window right here, and there's also a console tab. When we run programs, we print things out to the console a lot, and this is where we need to show those things printing out. Okay, sometimes this lesson we will. Okay, and we go back to the project tab. This lists our assets. Assets are the scenes you're creating. So if I click on scenes, you see this says sample scene, which is the same name up here. Okay, so we'll talk about creating scenes in a later lesson. If we click back on assets, anything we create will be in here. Okay, there's also a status bar here. Sometimes you'll see it. You see a couple icons here. Debugger disabled, cache service disabled, auto generate lights. None of that stuff we really don't use. Okay, you also have your toolbar up here. This is where you play or run your programs. We really don't only use that pretty much. Okay, we also use a lot of these tools up here, and this is our main toolbar here. So sometimes you can put it up there if you like it up there. Okay, sometimes it's a good place to put it, but usually it's floating right here, so you can pull some of these toolbars down and have them float or put them right back up there. Okay, this depends what you like. All right, this is our inspector window, and it'll inspect whatever's attached to a game object. So the only object we have now, if we click on main camera, is the main camera. Main camera is what the camera is seeing in the game. In other words, it's what in a 2D game, it's what the person sees. Okay, so camera is not so important in a 2D game. It's always in the middle. Okay, and this is just the view of the game. If we were designing 3D games, this camera would have more significance, but we won't be doing that. Okay, as you can see, we have a bunch of things in here. These are called components. Okay, we've got a transform component, a camera component, which is unique to the camera game object. We have an audio listener, okay, and we have a button to add components. Okay, so one thing of special note is the camera's position, x coordinate 0, y coordinate 0. Okay, that's smack dab in the middle, just like math, 0, 0. Okay, this is basically a Cartesian coordinate plane. It's just like you would use in math and algebra. This is coordinate 1, 0, 2, 0, 3, 0, 4, 0, right? 1, 1, 2, 1, 3, 1, 4, 1, 5, 1, and so on. So, and that all corresponds to the position. Okay. And these z values have no significance. This would be for 3D. Okay. Z-axis would be, kind of up and down, right? X is left, right. Y is up, down. Z would be up, down, but in like 3 dimensions. Okay. So it takes makes a whole nother axis there. It's kind of like popping right out at you. All right, so what we want to do is write our first script. Okay, a script is a program in C#. Okay, so we're going to write our first script. Now, to do that, we're going to click this Add Component button. So we click that. You can scroll down. So right down to the bottom, you're going to see New Script. So I'm going to click on New Script, and it needs a name. Okay, we name scripts just like we do files. First letter of the script is always capitalized. Actually, any word is capital. First letter is always capitalized. So we're going to call this test script. So TEST SCRIPT. Okay, test script, and we're going to say create an ad. Boom. Okay, so you see that it pops up in our assets now. Okay, it's a C sharp icon. So this is going to be a C sharp script. If I just click on this once, you'll see this is how the script looks. Okay, we can't modify any code here. Okay, this is how all scripts start out. So to open this script, we want to do one thing, and we should only have to do this once. We got to make sure this Unity knows that JetBrains Rider is our C# IDE. Okay, so to do that, we're going to click Edit, and we're going to go down here to Preferences. Okay, and it should come right up on External Tools. There it is, right there. So you want to make sure this external script editor is Rider. So mine's selected. You see, I have Visual Studio installed. So Visual Studio. It's free, so if you're doing this at home, okay, you can use Visual Studio. It's pretty much going to work the same way. I've configured JetBrains Rider to have all the same menu commands and pretty much look like Visual Studio. The difference with Rider is it has nice autosave functions and a little bit more better support as far as menus go. Okay, so Rider is selected, so I'm good to go. Okay. And yours, it may not be selected, so we want to make sure it is selected. Okay, so I'm just going to close that. All right, and then to open up this script, okay, I can double click here, or I can go on the main camera where I added the component. I can double click right there. Okay, I like to just double click right here. So if I double click this, it's going to open up Rider. You're going to get this message. Should you trust it? Okay, you might get it. You always say trust and open, and voila, here it is. Okay, so you're probably going to want to you're going to get these little messages. Just ignore them. Again, you don't got to worry about updates or anything like that. Just ignore them; they'll go away. Okay, we're going to resize this window though. Okay, oop. So I'm going to resize it to like that, and then I like to just grab it right here and kind of just set it right there. Okay, that way I can go back and forth really easy. This has a nice autosave function, so every time I click into here, there's some autosaving that happens. Okay, all right, so what do we need to do? Well, a couple things. You can make it easier on yourself if you don't really need to use this window too much. You can see there's our C# program. It's called test script. That's what we named it. You can see it's right there. It says public class test script, mono behavior. I'll tell you more about what these things mean as we go on, but any script we write, it's going to start out looking like this. Okay, I'm going to minimize this right here so I can write my code. So let me just explain a little bit. There's two places you can add code. You always add code in between these curly brackets. So void start, that's one place you can add code. Right here, void update. Now what's the difference? Well, you see there's some comments here. Void start, this is code that runs sequentially when the program starts, okay, when we run our program. So this is things you want to make happen first before the game starts, like initialize variables, maybe set them to certain values. You're going to see pretty quick that anything we put in here is something we want to happen in our games that happens when we start the game. Now update, this void update, the kind of code we put here updates once per frame. Now that doesn't mean once per second. That could mean, depends on your computer you're using and how many frames per second it can handle. Every computer has different processors. But essentially what it's doing is it's checking, could be 60 frames per second, it could be 70, 80, it just depends. It could be slow and be like 20 or 10, okay? But whatever we put in here is things we want to check while the game's happening. Like, I don't know, if a missile hits an enemy, we want to increase our score, something like that. So this is code that's we want to happen when certain things happen in the game. Okay, so we're not going to put any code in here for this first program. We're going to put it right here, and we want to print in the console log. Okay, in other words, over here, if I go over here, click console, I want to print a message that says hello world. Okay, it's the typical first program everybody writes. So I'm going to put it right here. And to do that, we want a command called debug.log. So if I do capital D, most of these commands will start with a capital letter. And notice debug comes right up. Okay, and there's a little description. It says class containing methods to ease debugging while developing a game. So now you can finish typing the word if you like. Debug. Oops, there's a B. Or once it's selected, you can either click on this word or just press tab. And it saves you a lot of typing. If you notice, there's a little red mark right there. That means there's an error in the program right now. It's expecting something else. Okay, I can click on there and it says what it's expecting is an end to that command, but we're not done yet. So debug.log. Now notice once I press the dot, there's a bunch of different things there. Okay, I can do so. But I want log L. So what is log? This says it's an object. Okay. And it says it logs a message to the Unity console, that console we were just talking about. So I'm just going to hit tab to finish typing that word out. Notice it put some parentheses in there, and I got a red line in there because it wants me to put a message in there. Okay. So anytime we put some message, we call that that message a string. Okay, or an object. So we want to do a string. In other words, we want it to say hello world. Strings always go in between quotes, and if I just press one quote, it automatically puts two of them in there, and it says the word message. It's like, what message do you want to type there? So I'm going to type the message hello world. Okay, and that's pretty much it. This should print to the console log hello world. Notice there's a semicolon at the end of that command. Every command line has to have a semicolon to end it. It just tells the computer, hey, do this and move on to the next command. Okay. So that's pretty much the program, the hello world program. Simple as that. Okay. If I click over here, you're going to notice it updates. Okay. Now, in most, if you're using Visual Studio at home, you're going to have to press Control S to save your script, or you could go up to File, Save All. Okay, either way, it's fine. But what I like about Writer is as soon as I click into Unity, any changes I made in my program automatically is updated. Okay. If I go back to my Project tab and I click on the script, you can see it updated. Now it says debug.log hello world. Okay. So I want to run this program. If I run it right now, I could use this play button, play. Notice in the console it says hello world. Okay. Now to stop the program, I just press play again. Okay, now the program stopped. Okay. So that's our first program. You made it. Congratulations if you could do that. But now we got to know how to turn these in. How do we turn these in? Okay. So there's two things you turn in when a program's done. And this program is done. If we look at the formative, I usually have two things. One, submit your asset file by selecting upload file response, and then record your Unity window while running your program. Okay, so this is either going to be us playing our game, or in this case, us playing the message hello world, and there will always be required. Okay, so let's see how we do that. Go back to Unity. Okay, I'm actually going to minimize this right here just because get it out of the way. Here's how you do it. So to get that asset file to turn in, you do this. Okay, if you click on the assets menu, you want export package. Okay, what that's going to do is if I go back to my project window, any assets I've made in here, it's going to export them all. Okay, and that allows me to import them into my Unity console. Okay, and to look at your code. Okay, that's essentially what I do. Okay, and so to do that, I just click Assets, Export Package. Notice the only thing in there is the test script. Okay, usually I want to just make sure I'm selecting everything. Eventually, there's going to be lots of items in here. Okay, so we say All, and we say Export. Okay, and this is where we use our flash drive. Okay, so I got my flash drive right there. Okay, and I made a little Unity folder on my flash drive. I made a Unit 1 folder, and this is going to contain all your assets for whatever projects you're working on. So this one, I've already exported it, so there it is. Okay. Matter of fact, let's see if I can delete this. I'm going to delete it. Okay, and I'm going to export it to this location. Okay, so basically, I'm in my flash drive. I've created a folder, just like I did on my desktop. There's Unit 1. I'm going to select that, and I'm going to click Save. And there it is. I just put it back. Okay, now this is the file you're going to use to turn in, okay, in Formative. So how do I do that? Well, let me just close that window. Go to my Formative. Okay, it says Upload File Response. I'm just going to click Upload File, and then your file menu will come up. So again, I save that to my flash drive right there, Unit 1. There it is. So I'm going to just click Open. I'm going to select that and click Open. Okay, and now it's uploading the file, and there it is. Now these are really small files. They're not that big. Unlike your Unity project on your desktop, that thing is huge. Well, all we did was write hello world, and that's if you were to look at that file size. Matter of fact, I'll look at it right now. If you were to look at this test project, if I right click on it and say properties, look, that's 1.21 gigabytes. Okay, so that's a pretty big file. Let's click cancel. Okay, that would take quite a bit of time to put in here. Most of our projects are going to be 10 to 20, maybe even 50 gigabytes. Okay, so you'll want to be uploading those there. That's how we do the asset files, or the asset files. Okay. All right, so that's how I turn in the asset file. Now, I also have to turn in a recording, a screen recording of me doing my game. Okay, so how do I do that? Okay, here's how that works. First off, I'm just going to press this button, record video response. Okay, you see you get this message, record screen. Okay, that's what we want. We want to record screen. So I'm going to click on that. Okay, you're going to get this message. Formative wants to use record on your screen. I like to click forever. That way it doesn't ask me this anymore. Okay, so I'm going to say allow. And then it's going to, I want me to select which screen do I want to capture, or what do I want to capture. So if I press that button, what I want here is window. Okay, what I want to capture is my project running. So that's this right here. Okay, that's, I don't want to select my browser or JetBrains Writer. I want to select this right here. Click share. Okay, and notice it goes right to the browser, but it's not recording yet. Okay, so if I go over here, I have to click record. Okay, record. Once I click record, I'll be able to make my video, and it's only going to capture what's in this screen. So I'm going to click record. Okay, and then I'm going to go back to Unity. See, it's recording now. I'm going to click back in my Unity window. Okay, I'm going to make sure my console is showing here, and I'm going to press run. And there it is. I just made a recording of my video, so now I can go and stop it. Okay. Now usually you're going to play your game and show how it works. Okay, that's usually what you'll be recording. Okay, so I'm going to go back to my browser, and I'm done. I'm going to click stop. Now it's going to this may take a minute or two, just depending on how long you record. Again, you only need like no more than a minute. Okay, it shouldn't take you no more than a minute to demonstrate your game working. Okay, and there's the video right there, and I click add video, and it puts it right in there. Okay, so you need these two things for every project. Okay, every project's going to have these two things that you need to turn in. And then I'm done. I can just submit this now to be graded. Okay, all right. That is pretty much how you do it. I'm going to close this. That's pretty much how you use Unity. Don't forget to stop your program. Okay, we can close JetBrains Writer. Okay, and exit that. Okay, and there it is. I just made my first program, and so did you. Congratulations. Just a few things to remember. You can close your Unity by doing that. It says, do you want to save the changes? I'll say sure, save them. I always want to save often, okay? And then my hub, if I want to open that back up again, there it is, the test project. I just click on this, and it'll open right back up. Doesn't take as long as it did when it was created. So there it is, and it should be in the condition I left it, okay? And again, if you're using Unity at home, okay, and let's say you want to work on your program a little bit more, okay? Well, you have your assets, right? You were working on at school. So if you want to put work on your program a little bit more, you would just go Assets, Import Package, Custom Package, and then you have your flash drive in there, right? And then click on your Unit 1, and then you would just click on that. You would say Open, and it says nothing to import because the assets are already in my project. But anything that's new will pop up here. You just make sure it's all selected. You say OK, and then you can start working on it at home. Okay, just don't forget if you want your work from home to use back at school, you need to export that back to your all your changes. You need to export that back to your flash drive. Okay. And that's pretty much how we work on all projects, okay? How you can work on them from home, okay? If you have a computer that can do it at home, okay? All right? Okay, that is it, guys. Have a nice day. And again, this video is pretty much how we turn in, save our assets, import them in, and do all this work. It'll be the same all year long. All right, we'll see you later.